This morning we have a poetry workshop with John Irving Clark for children, an interactive one, and then this afternoon we have Justina Robson, who's doing a creative writing workshop all about setting a fantasy world, and then this afternoon we have Bawdy performance poet Luke Wright, and this evening we have Alison Taft, Helen Cadbury and Lee Russell on our crime panel.
I'm representing Friends of Cleckheaton Library, and we are campaigning to continue the library service in the current location and as it exists at the moment. It's a great space, not just for books, but also for people of the community to come and meet and get together. And so this is a fabulous event. It's the first one of its kind here in Cleckheaton Library. There's been some outstanding workshops and talks by famous authors and up-and-coming authors. So it's really great to see something like this come to Cleckheaton, and we hope that there will be more in the future.
I mean, I've written for a long time. I remember as a kid I used to really like writing. I had an inspirational teacher when I was 8, and I wrote stories for her. But then as I progressed through my school career, as I became a teacher myself, it was poetry that was becoming more interesting. Although I do write novels and short stories, but the children's poetry came out of being a school teacher, I think.
I started writing because it was the one thing that my parents really loved me to do more than anything else. It seemed to keep me out of trouble to start with. And since I'd always been a keen reader, it seemed nice just to write stories of my own. As I was getting older, the stories I liked the most were always fantasy and science fiction. I particularly liked the adventure stories, lots of knights and dragons, and I started to read Tolkien. My father started to read that to me, and that's when I got into epic fantasy. And then after that I became more interested in science fiction because of Star Trek and Doctor Who being on the TV, and because I love them so much, I just really wanted to read more books like that.
Well, the Friends of West End Park have always been interested in attracting more people to use the park. It was given in 1894 for the recreation of the working people of Cleckheaton, and we wanted to attract more people in there. We've just raised £7,000 for an outside classroom, and looks a bit like a traditional bandstand, and we wanted to use it. This is the first time this will be used for a large public event, so we got together with the Literature Festival because it was particularly directed at children, which is a focus of our activities as well. So it was a good synergy bringing the two together, and that's why we got involved. It's been very, very successful, and we're really pleased we did.
The committee have done brilliantly in trying to organising this. They've brought together a very wide eclectic group of people, and they are trying to engage with different elements in the society. So they were trying to get teenagers in, they're trying to get young people in, trying to involve schools, they're trying to involve the older. And so I think they've tried to cover as many bases as possible and trying to get as many people involved in the library and to realise what a benefit reading and literature and the library is to this community of Cleckheaton.
You know, I'm a real literature festival person, and I've been to Ilkley, and if there's one going on locally and I'm around, I try to attend. And I thought this is perhaps what the library needs, because it's, in danger, and more of this thing would be lovely.
I think it already is a key part of the community. There are lots of groups and events that happen here regularly, and there's a lot of support for the library. I think you can see that through sort of the support that the Friends have got. If you're out and about in town, people and chat to people, everybody feels that the library is the heart of the community, and we hope that it will continue to be so for the foreseeable future.
If you can put this out into the community, it makes people realise that the use of the library and the fact that it isn't just boring, it isn't just books. One of the children that were at the group this morning, they said that having a book in your hand is uncool. Well, you've got to try and get past that in as many ways as possible.
At the beginning of the year, we had a discussion at the Cleckheaton Writers Group, and I came up with the idea because I go along and steward at quite a lot of festivals, and I thought that it would be a great idea for Cleckheaton to hold one. One, to embrace the joy of reading in our community, and two, to help in the fight to save the library.
Well, the invitation is one that you don't turn down. Children coming along want to do poetry. They're always keen, enthusiastic. Why not? That's my idea of a good time.
It's really nice to get in touch and to see new writers, different writers, other people people from all kinds of places who are interested in writing. Every time you meet up with people who love writing, it's like having a busman's holiday.
Well, the Family Reading Day goes on the back of the football training that starts in there. Since the West End Park Juniors football team started playing there, they've brought over 100 families to the park every week, which has been fantastic. And so we realised that here were all these people with children, and they were obviously enjoying the park, and we wanted to continue that.
You know, as long as you've got a library, a book and a pen, you know, this is what is so important. And the fact that children are just spending so much time, you know, on computers and so on, to actually come and use books. I mean, I haven't got a Kindle because I like to actually have a book in my hand. And most birthday presents and Christmas presents are books. So we mustn't, you know, there's a great danger we could actually lose that, which is not good.
It's wonderful to see it happening because for a while it has seemed that there wasn't too much going on in the area. But now that I've come here and met the people in the writing group, I realise there's really a huge amount of interest. So many people want to come and take part.
And I think, you know, and it should be a regular event. The children are always fascinated by, you know, this BFG, and there's all sorts of lovely things to look at and to talk about. You know, we've even got videos from here as well. And the reference library is really good. So hopefully, you know, this continues to happen. And events like this, I'm sure, is what it needs.
I think it's tragic, it's really sad that the library is just the books you can see here in this room as well as in the many other rooms that are here. I mean, you couldn't hope to get such a selection even in a bookstore or anywhere else. How can people get their hands on so many books and such a huge diversity of knowledge? They've got no chance if the library's closed down. You're left with the internet, which is good on a good day, but you need money if you're going to buy books on it, and terrible on a bad day.
I think what I do at the workshops should reinforce what they're doing in school, but at the same time be something different, a little bit of variety. I don't have the same constraints that a teacher has, for instance, so I can spend some time appealing to the imagination and getting quick, instant results. But I hope the children go back to school and tell the teacher and show enthusiasm to the teacher, and the whole thing continues from there.
I mean, if you think of there's a literary festival in Morley, which is run every year, which is brilliant, and they that's over a week, and they bring in quite a few well-known people in there. Now, Cleckheaton Library's Literature Festival only just started, and I think they've done really well. But, you know, given the scope of the people who are organising it, there's no reason for it not to become an annual event.
We would like the festival to be an annual event from now on, and we're hoping that the festival will be a great success.
Out of the writers group, we felt that we could do with a similar festival, because we were attending different writing festivals around Yorkshire, and we felt that we could do with one here. Also, we felt that it would be an ideal opportunity to bring into focus the fact that, you know, the library is in danger of being closed at some point, and also the level of reading and writing of some of the children in this area is quite low, though they do use the library, and we wanted to bring them all together, families, and bring reading and writing back as a not so much a hobby, but, you know, as a family issue.
I would like to see the library service continuing in its existing state and in the fabulous Grade 2 listed building that it's in at the moment.
It's it's a lovely building for elderly people to come and maybe reminisce about their lives. You know, if they have a programme of events where they're actually talking about their past, would be absolutely great. And tea and coffee and cakes, it would be really nice. So I think they do lots for the little ones anyway. There are things going on, you know, during the day, but perhaps more to get the elderly in would be really nice.
Keeping the cultural life alive in the community, having a place to come which is focused around enjoyment of books and learning is so important.
I feel suspicious of people who don't read. People who end up in positions of authority, positions of power, if they don't read, they don't have the access to the imagination, they don't have dreams, and I think that is a bad sign for us all. So I think at an early age, reading should be encouraged.
You look at them, and they're alien.